Woo! Hello, guys. Are we live? Can you hear me? Sound check. Let me know in the chat. Are you ready, Senians? Are you ready? Not the Binance. Hello, 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 hello. Okay, let's go. So, good morning, good evening, good evening. Are you ready, Senians? It's time to attack. It's time to infiltrate Binance, first principles of crypto. Finally, are you listening, CZ? You're gonna talk to me. But first, we're coming for you. Guys, it's high noon. It's time to deliver for a change. It's time. Sometimes we go horizontal, sometimes we go vertical, and sometimes we go vertical, as we're going to do now. We're going to deploy on a chain with a bunch of new code at the same time, which is going to be very interesting. So let's dive right in, guys. We are less than 2 hours away from launch on Binance Smart Chain with 2 contracts. So, and we made some updates. So we don't want to miss this. Rock and roll. What do we have here? On the menu today, we have Binance. We're taking XENFTs to Binance Smart Chain on our journey. We deployed Zen protocol on these 10 different chains already. And as you know, we have deployed Torrent and Zen Stake on Ethereum. And today, we're going to be all about Binance. Forget everything else. We're going to take XENFTs to Binance. So what are we doing? As you know, we have taken Zen Torrent, which can issue these XENFTs, and we've taken Zen Stake, which can encapsulate a stake and make a XENFT with that as well. So these two is the first 2 of a series of 3 protocols that we have intended to launch. This one is not going to look like this, but this is a Zen Burn, which is coming very soon to both Ethereum and Binance as well. So I'm just mentioning it to get you hyped up and ready to go for that soon as well. So that's coming very, very, very soon. It's like a certificate of burn deposit, which also will have a little special thing with it as well. So that's going to be fun. But today we forget about that, because today it's all about deploying. Look, he's so excited. He comes back in frame. It's all about deploying these 2 bad boys on Binance Smart Chain. We're going to infiltrate Binance with first principles, with unicorns and prime numbers and Fibonacci numbers. They will have never seen anything like it. So just a reminder, I'm going to try to make this show very quickly now, but because there's a lot to cover and there's so little time. But just a reminder, you just so you can orient what we're doing here. This is the vanilla cranking method, right? I'm just going through explaining how the Zen Torrent protocol work. So with the vanilla cranking method, you interact with Zen Torrent protocol and you claim a C rank, excuse me, and then you claim a C rank with that protocol. With the Zen Torrent protocol, you can just interact with this protocol instead, which in turn interacts with Zen protocol. And we introduce something called a VMU, right? A virtual minting unit. So this allows us to batch mint these claims and make multiple claims at once. On Ethereum, it was 128 in one batch. And we're using the same code for the Zen Stake protocol. So, but we are, in the code, we are calling it differently. Instead of VMU, we call it VSU, a virtual staking unit. Okay, so it's the same code. It's been audited and it works amazing. So now we're going to take this bad boy to Binance. And I know it's a lot of different protocols that are coming now, one by one. So here's a little overview just to get you oriented. So we have these 4 protocols. Next can, you're not allowed to be here today. You're coming later. But we have Ethereum, we have Zen protocol, we have on Binance Big Zen, and then we have Zen Torrent, Zent, and this is what we're deploying today, Big Zent. It's Zen Torrent protocol deployed on Binance, and the token, the non-fungible token, is going to be Big Zent. And then we have the SendStake protocol. And we're going to deploy it today as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how we're deploying it. But the token, the non-fungible token, is going to be BSC. And here we have this Unburn that's coming very soon as well. And we are planning to go to Polygon very, very quickly as well. So we're going to go to Polygon with these. So it's taken some time, and we had a lot of Ethereum focus because many reasons. It's the biggest chain. It has the most users, most liquidity, most development, etc., etc., etc. But now we have these tools, this like army, this armor that we can just deploy everywhere, and then it goes fast. So then we can go to Polygon maybe with all of these bad boys at once. So they would have no idea what happened to their chain. But just to get you oriented what we're doing. Now, what else? We've done some changes, guys. We've done some changes last minute, as always. So here's an updated version 2 of the rarity chart. I'm going to talk about the changes very, very soon. But let's do like this so you can see it. But let's just do some basics first, okay? You have, it's just the same structure overall as with Ethereum in the same protocol. So the contract is still called Torrent. The XENFTs are BXENFT, and the burn token is BXEN, all right? That's the token that we deployed with Torrent on Binance. Now, this protocol, Torrent, is giving you the opportunity to mint 3 different categories, okay? We have Apex, Limited, and Collector. So what's the difference? Apex, it's limited by amount. So there's only ever going to be 10,000 of them, okay? And we're keeping the same burn amount as we did with Ethereum, okay? So it's the same burn amounts, and that's very interesting. We'll talk about that soon. With Limited, you have also a limitation, but instead of amount, you have in time, right? So you're only ever going to be allowed to mint them according to the protocol for 365 days. And the burn amount is also 250 million BXEN to mint one of those. You have to burn it. If you burn it, it's gone forever. And then we have the Collector. So this doesn't require burn, and they are minted in as a result. Will be these 8 different categories. And the category which will be assigned to your NFT depends on the power. And the power is a formula where you take the number of VMUs times the term. So that's the difference. These 2 require burn, this one does not. Now, we did some last minute changes, and I'm going to explain what we did and why we did it. So what we did was that we changed the VMUs to on Ethereum, it was the possible VMUs was 100 to 128. Now we increased this on Binance to 400, and we're actually going to do even a one more change to 475 on Binance. So 475 is the latest one. That's the one you within 2 hours are going to be able to mint from the interface. So that's one change we did, and then we did one other change, but. And the other change we did, because it's for the same reason, it's on the power. We increased it by a factor of 4, the power formula. So why did we do this? Because the gas block limit on Ethereum is 30 million, right? But on Binance, it's 140 million. Okay, so it's much, much, much bigger. So the reason, the reason then why we increase is because you can fit more transaction into one block. So the real limit for Binance is that you could make up to close to 700 VMUs. Now we do limit it to 475 anyway, because it's for safety reasons. Because I'm going to show you later in a chart, Binance have increased their block gas limit periodically, constantly. So we sort of want to have a limit which can survive a little bit of time and have some sort of safety safety factor built in. Now, as some of you have realized, we had this 128 as a limit on Ethereum as well. Now, some people have surpassed Zen.network and minted some NFTs, which has a VMU of maybe 130 or 131 even. And you have to realize that the limit we put is on Zen.network. And Zen.network is just a UI for the protocol. So you don't have to go to Zen.network to interact with the protocol. In Zen.network, we have these limits, but they are soft limits. They can be changed. They are not part of the immutable code. That's just part of how you are interacting with the protocol. So this is something that we can change with time. And if it is so that Binance is going to keep increasing their block gas limit, we can also increase this number in the interface. So that is the reason why we're increasing it, because if people want to make more VMUs, put more C ranks, encapsulate more C ranks in their NFTs, we think they should be allowed to do so. It doesn't really affect the game theory in so much, because the burn levels is what's important for the rarity aspect anyway. And why do we keep the burn levels the same? Because change are different. So there's going to be some dynamic with interacting with the Binance ecosystem, and another dynamic with the Ethereum ecosystem. So as you already have figured out, the cost of a transaction is much lower on Binance. So these will probably burn a lot faster. They will probably go a lot faster than on Ethereum, most probably. I already heard you guys talking about that you're excited about the unicorns on Binance. And what we have to realize, if we look here in this table, that if we have the same burn levels, right, they're gonna, if all the Apex, this is just for the Apex, they're gonna burn in total 15.5 trillion Zen, I mean. It would be nice if it was dollars, but Zen is better. So they're gonna burn 15.5 trillion Zen, which means that the supply, we're gonna look at it later, it's only not even like 11 trillion right now. So with this added burn like incentives that is for Binance in relation to the supply, that's a very interesting dynamic to follow. Now the limited is basically the same. The burn amount is 250 million, 365 days. So that's for that. And then for the collector. Now, if we had kept the power levels and didn't increase it quadruply, then the problem with that is, if we've kept it, then the game theoretical aspect of the collector would basically be gone. So you have to realize, we talked about it from the beginning, that we have all of these because it enables other protocols to bake in some kind of game theoretical aspect to work with it. And you can already figure out that we're sort of doing this with when we talk about X1 and airdrops and so on and so forth, where we are discussing how to weigh that in terms of who's going to get most distribution. It's going to be based on how much you burned. Is the rarity factor is going to play in as well? Is the weight of the VMU something maybe that we consider as well? So these categories are important, and it wouldn't make sense game theoretically for the Binance people if it was way too easy to mint a Centurion, basically. So that's why we did it. And we don't feel so bad. We know that some guy out there is probably going to be crying that we're changing last minute. But you also have to realize that we are making protocols with the intention of making it as good as possible for the longest time possible. So once the contract is deployed, it's immutable. We cannot change it. We don't have admin keys. So it's going to be there for a long time. And we need this time up until deployment to really make the fine adjustments to the protocols. We try to avoid it, but sometimes there's things that we want to include with the game theoretical aspect. So that's very important to know. So in summary, guys, the possible VMU you can make for an Apex Unlimited is going to be minimum 100 that you have to make in order to mint them. And you can mint max 475, okay? This is the number, 475. That's the max. And we're going to make huge announcements if we are in the future going to up that limit as well. And for the collector, it's you can do just one VMU. That's totally fine, and up to 400. And this is how you calculate the VMUs. You take the number of VMUs. If you take 475, you take 475 times the min term. And right now on Binance, we're going to check the dashboard later. I think it's 455 days or something like that. So you take 455 days times 475, and you should arrive to something. If you do max, I think you're going to arrive at the Centurion exactly. So that's that. And then we're deploying as well the staking NFT contract, ZenStake. And I have a video on this if you check the YouTube. It's very simple. You can either stake your Zen, and that has its upsides because you can end your stake at any time. But if you want to make your stake tradable instead, then you can issue this NFT. You can't end your stake early, but you can trade with it. So it's pros and cons, really. And you're sort of locking in an instrument which carries, at the current state, 19% yield. So, and it has this added gamification aspect in the case that if the token ID is a prime number, and you should blah blah blah. It's a prime number, and you should learn what prime numbers are. You can Google it. It's very easy to understand what it is. If it's a prime number, then you get a 500 rarity score. If the current block number, so go to Etherscan and learn how block numbers work, or BC scan. Then if that's a prime number, then you get 1,000, and so on and so forth. So that's actually a very clean, very nice, very fun rarity aspect to built in that we have as well. So this is coming to Binance. The NFT is called the Big Zens. Yeah, guys, we're going on both of these protocols right away to Binance. And we're going to deploy them pretty much at the same time. We're not going to deploy on with a block timer this time, which we did with Torrent. We're just going to deploy it at the countdown. So we tried these two different methods. There's pros and cons to them, but now we're going to deploy it. So when you see the countdown go down, guys, and currently, what do we have? It's 1 hour 41 minutes. So cancel your dinner plans with whoever it is, unless it's with CC, and prepare for the takeover of first principles of Binance. Now, what I want to do now is something else. I want to show you some stuff, basically. So I need to stop that, do some push-ups. Too many windows open. Yeah, I think that's the one. Let's see. Here we go. Yeah. So. Oh, this maybe that's better. Okay. So guys, what are we looking at? We're looking at the countdown on Zen.network. So this is how you participate. You go to Zen.network, of course, you go into the BSC universe right here. And let's look at some data. What do we have on Binance, guys? We have already 16 million interactions with the protocol, 16 million claimed C ranks. We have 9 million active minters. 4 months, time flies when you have fun. 4 months since deployment. We have a total supply, guys. This is what I want you to be aware of. On this chain, the total supply right now is 11.5 trillion. And some have staked, and we have a liquid supply of 10.4 trillion. So as you know, the liquid supply plus the total stake equals the total supply. Then we have a max term days, which is constantly increasing with the global rank, right? It's now 459. So this is an important figure to consider if you're going to go for collector to calculate which one you might go after. You don't have to know this. It calculates for you automatically, of course. We have AMP, guys. This is interesting. Look at this. The EAA is gone. It's gone forever. It's zero. The opportunity of alpha is gone. and the AMP is just constantly, while we're just talking and doing stuff, the disinflationary effect of the minting, the difficulty of minting is just chugging along. The AMP doesn't care about anything rather than time. It doesn't care what you tell it. It's just going to continue going down, 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 down. And the APY is 19%. So just some stats to consider. And here we have the this NFT. So here you go, and you mint a NFT. So let's do it on testnet instead, so I can show. I just wanted to show you that here you mint for the NFT, and here you go for the stake, for the staking NFTs. And this is what we're going to deploy today. The burning, that comes later, but this is where you will find it. And we're going to do a video explaining exactly what that is. It's very simple. So let's go to, let's see. Yeah, we're on Girly testnet. And it's very simple, guys. You just, this is on Girly, so it's not Binance, but it works exactly the same way. Here you're going to choose a max, and the max is going to be 475, I think we said. The term days, you can choose here, and it's 459. And here you go for the Apex. And remember, if you go for an Apex or limited, you also have to approve the transaction first with the amount of burn. You have to allow the protocol to say like, okay, I have Zen in my wallet. It's okay. I approve it. You can burn it because I want a Sunicorn. I want a CC Sunicorn. So that's how you do it, guys. It's very simple. You just approve it, and then you go through with the transaction. So that's how you do it. I wanted to show, here's Joe's site, Zen.fyi. Very interesting with Phoenix, guys. You should see my videos on that. And next week he's going to show us probably testnet. So that's super interesting. But here I wanted to show you as well oh, sorry, guys. God damn it. I have to. I'm so sorry. I'm so stupid. This is how you meant. Can't see the other screen. Sorry, I have to check. You just here is the minting, staking, burning, and then on minting you go here. You choose max 475, and then the term days and Apex, and you have to approve the transaction. Sorry, guys, I thought you were with me. My bad. Anyway, here you have there we go. Here you can just see, I just want to show you that Binance has been increasing the gas limit constantly. So right now it's 140 million, which is the gas limit. It didn't used to be like that. Back in here in August 2022, it was down to 75 million. So you have to also take that in consideration, right? Like at what interval are they racing? Like this is September. And 6 months later, they've increased it by 40%. So this might happen in the future as well. We don't know. It's a centralized chain, so they can do whatever they want. So it's important to take these factors into consideration when we're making this stuff. Look at you guys. You're becoming degens. How cool is that? And if you're new to Binance, what I suggest you do is you go here on Google Zenpedia. And here you have information about all the different chains that we're on, some basic information. So here you have the native token on BNB, you have the ticker BigZen, the contract address, some useful information, Binance Scan, etc., etc. Gas tracker, some stats, we're going to look at them, etc. So actually we should update this with the newer protocol as well. What I want to show you also is this. This is very interesting. I mean, just to compare, right? So, like you can see here on Binance, for instance, like you can see here that the blocks are not really filled up, as you can see here, and here you can also see that they have 3 seconds block times, and you can see here also that they have gas limit. So I'm on BSC scan, right? It's their Explorer, it's their Ether scan, basically. So like what you have to realize is like the fullness of the blocks that not necessarily increase the it's not necessarily what's going to increase the gas fee, because like you can have small transactions that won't necessarily fill all the blocks. The transaction could be microscopic, but the execution time, let's say if it would be like 10 seconds, and then you have 1 million transactions times 10 seconds, like theoretically that could fit in a block. But since Binance forked Ethereum, the transaction have to be validated sequentially. So if Binance have 3-second blocks, 300 transactions per second, 3-second blocks, that's 900 transactions per block. So there can still be congestion because transaction has to be validated sequentially. Here you can see on Ethereum, for instance, like the blocks are way more filled. The gas limit is 30,000. So now when we're talking about X1 and chains and all of that stuff, share this tab instead. Yeah. Here you go. You have to remind me. I always make these mistakes. Yeah, here you can see the block times is 12 seconds, and they fill the blocks much more. The gas limit is 30 million. So it's good to, when we are on these different chains, to have these like fundamental awareness of these different metrics that are influencing how we are interacting with them. What else can we look at? We can look at here's just some transactions. This is interesting also. You can see the average gas price chart. So this is for Binance. Maybe it's a bit small. If we zoom in, like here, you can see that the GUI is like pretty constant and have been for a while, like around 6 to 8 GUI. And you're calculating the gas price the same way you're doing with Ethereum, but you have to use BNB instead, of course. So another thing I just want to mention to you is like you should go to Dex Screener and you can create a watch list. So you can see all the. It's interesting to measure. This is just like decentralized pools, but it's interesting to measure like liquidity. Like why are we on Ethereum, and why did we focus on them so much? Because they have a higher volume, more users, and so on and so forth. And Binance is a natural second. So you can see the liquidity on the biggest decentralized pool is it's very important when you are interacting that you factor in what the liquidity is for your like perception of the token, the economic energy that you're going to deal with. So that's just something I wanted to mention. What else? We have, it's important also to analyze a lot of data. I think Zen Turbo, you can see here, amazing stats, guys. We're so grateful that they've made all of this for us. They're gonna add support for Binance, but they don't have it right away. But it's going to be very interesting to analyze this as we go along, of course. Zen Squad as well. I know he's working on it, but this is of course a site that I like a lot by Web3ly, where you can see follow the stats for the different NFTs. So we can see here on Ethereum, it's already burned 695 billion. Okay, so here's what's interesting. On Ethereum, it's not your typical like NFT drop where it sells out in seconds. You know, this is a burning machine that's just sitting out there. And as people get exposed to Zen, and when I mean Zen, they're going to realize, instead of multiple wallets, I can batch mint with Zen Torrent. So I'm going to be exposed to Zen Torrent, so I can batch mint, and then I can get a tradable NFT, which I can do something with. And while you're there, there's a rarity aspect. And if I'm someone that likes rarity, I'm going to go for Sunicorn maybe. So it's this marketing machine for Sunicorns, if you look at it from that aspect. And when the Sunicorns has gone, then the next one, the exotic, is going to be the one who's sought after. But it's just there. Like we're deploying a bunch of other stuff right now, and but it's just working in the background. as intended. Now with Binance, the dynamics here change a little bit. So I think there's even a possibility that the Apex, the Unicorns, might go pretty fast because there's only 100 of them. And if the current cost of a Unicorn on Ethereum is about like 16K to burn, just for the burn, then the equivalent on Binance is just 600. So as you can figure out, it's the barrier to get a Unicorn on Binance. It's way lower. So the dynamics on the different chains are different. So it's going to be very interesting to experience what happens. I think also Zenmon is doing a lot of Binance stuff, and also Joseph Zen.pub is probably gonna get a lot of Binance data as well. So you should check that. I also want to show here we made a Medium account so we can make articles, and TPX has made 2 very fantastic articles right now. So you can go here and subscribe on the Medium articles. So we have an article here which he made. I just want to mention it briefly about here's Jackie Boy, and some article you can show someone that's new into Zen that just summarizes everything. And he also, what we're planning to do as well is a newsletter, so to speak, like news, because we know there's a lot of stuff happening, so we can sort of summarize what's the hottest new stuff, the summary of what's happened in the Zenverse. So we talk about the next token here, Nexonomics, and DevNet, of course, X1. Look at this, beautiful. So much activity, so much data. The guys are just constantly iterating this data, guys. You can't believe it. We have Phoenix Protocol, of course, very exciting, and so on and so forth. So yeah, guys, I thought I'm gonna prepare your questions because in 1 hour, 26 minutes, ZZ is gonna like get a shock. He's not gonna realize what happened to his chain. So I thought I'll take some questions if there's stuff that you guys are having questions about. So let's see. Phoenix Technic testnet next week. We're looking forward to that. Great. Thank you, Majajo Hansson. Phoenix plus Zen. Will there also be XN drops for minted NFTs? Yeah, so it's a good question. We are probably going to do it this way, right? That the airdrops are going to be distributed for all the chains, but the portions is going to be different for with whatever formula we're going to use. We're applying a bunch of different ways of thinking there. But yeah, if you burn something on Binance for these NFTs, you are going to get an airdrop on the X1 network, and we as that goes, there's no way to tell now how much you're going to get for what. Like first we have to realize what's going to be included and so on. So it's going to take some time before you realize how much you're going to get for something. But if you're burning something for these protocols, you're for sure going to get something. So VMU, the higher the better. It depends. So like let's go to the rare chart. To the rarity chart. Here's the thing, like for Apex, you need minimum 100 VMUs in order to mint them. Now, it's sort of a separated thing. Like there's nothing inherently, like technically, that says that a higher VMU is going to create a higher value for the this NFT. Now, how the market perceives it, however, might be different. So if you have a Sunicorn which has max VMU, that might be perceived by the market as something more valuable, but that's a social construction. Okay, that's not something. I mean, you can quantify that value, but the value has to be appreciated by what the market says it is. So it's a good question, and the same goes for the rest, of course, as well. So yeah, you can like it's the same thing with stake, for instance. It really depends. We might consider, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if the weight, let's call that the weight of this NFT, which is like how much VMUs it carries, like if that's going to have an effect on the future airdrops, etc., etc. But nothing is written in stone here. So yeah, and another thing to point out, because here's the thing, I see some people are crying a bit because their upcoming mints are coming on these batch mints, and they're like, I can't afford the gas cost. So think about this when you're minting, guys. Like the future gas cost, we don't know. What happens if Ethereum goes to 5K? Like your mint is going to be very, so if you max out the VMU here, it's going to be very expensive. So that's one to point out. It might make more sense to do, like, if you're going for Sunicorn, for instance, you could either do 100 VMU and you save some of those VMUs to something else. So you're spreading that out. So in the case you can't afford the gas cost, you can sort of mint the ones you can afford, which are more valuable. That's point number one. And the thing to contradict that is that, let's say you do max mint term, 400 days. Now, that's 400 days in the future. So what's going to happen? We have on the roadmap to create some sort of MakerDAO like XENFT lending, which means that you can use your XENFT as collateral and borrow against it. So you know you can deposit your XENFT in a contract and get liquid Zen for it, which you can sell or trade to a stablecoin or whatever you want. You know, so that within 400 days, it's not a promise, but it's high likely that we're gonna make that. So that's some assurance which you can't rely on, but with high probability. We're also planning to do flash loans, which means that it's sort of the same thing, that when you come to a maturity date, you can do a flash loan transaction. So which means that you're using the economic energy within this NFT to pay the gas fee, and there's a pool where lenders are earning yield by providing that liquidity for that gas transaction, so to speak. So if you can't afford your upcoming mint, then you might want to use that and pay a little yield for that service, so to speak. So that's something to consider. Zenzu, your fitness routine. I wake up, I do 400 push-ups, and then I wake up for real. So that's my morning routine. What's the main NFT marketplace for BSC? You can use OpenSea for it. That's the one I'm probably going to use, but I'm not so familiar, to be honest, with different marketplaces. So let's investigate that together, guys. Let's find out which is the best one. Will it pay off to get a Zuni as opposed to the exotic NFT like for like? Say, for example, exotic has 100 Zen airdropped and Zuni has 200 Zen airdropped. If this formula is used, why should I get a Zuni? We don't know what the airdrop is going to be. Like, so if you forget about the airdrop for a second, the unicorns are limited only to 100. So it's that rarity aspect that it's simple math. The fact that they are only limited to 100 is what makes them like attractive, so to speak. Now, these are, of course, something that how much you're going to get for what, so to speak. If it makes sense to split up that burn to maybe, like, if you go for 2 exotic versus 1 unicorn, that's like something that we're going to factor into the coming X1 airdrop. So guys, give me some questions. Give me some tough ones. Zensu, at launch, do you have a webcam focused on CC Binance? Shocked, a crying face. Someone, guys, we are global. Someone is in Dubai right now. Go find him. Go tell him we're launching, and make him mint. Make him force him to watch as his chain is going to be infiltrated. Hold him hostage. Spiritually, not really. Hi Sensu, if the apex go fast, which they can, do you expect the market cap for Big Zen to go downwards? Like, not necessarily. We could see on the price chart. I followed it. When we announced, there was a price increase and then it sort of stabilized. So we don't know, guys. On Ethereum, we have the yin yang, we have the mint, we have the burn. On Ethereum, it was, we can see we burned like 10% of the supply just with one protocol has been burned. It's quite amazing. It works, and it's being amplified. We have Next, we have Phoenix, we have ZenStake, we have other stuff coming out. So like the yin yang effect is going to be interesting. On Binance, I think it's going to be a little bit more volatile in the sense that it's going to burn much faster in relation to the supply. So anything can happen with price, and there's so many dynamics here. We can see with the Zen price, like it's starting to like be in the zone where it's much less volatile. It's much less volatile, and there's some sort of floor with the gas that's like we're starting to say hello to each other. And what's really cool is that despite the price chart, we've got so huge interest from a wide community, which shows that the Senians, they're smart. They understand. You shouldn't only look at the price chart. Something else is going on. I think people are going to get a shock. So what happens with the like short term? I don't. I'm not an expert on price. There's too many things. There's too many times when I thought, yeah, the price should go this way and that way, and it went the other way. So, when XENFTs, so probably like if all goes well, and if you have your big boy pants on, guys, then we're gonna do it next week already. And so let's see if we're gonna deploy the Zenburn contracts. Leo, big shout out. He's doing amazing work, finding interesting dynamics. So let's see if we're going to do that or start with the Polygon and then deploy the burn contracts on the 3 chains right away before we continue with the other chains. So if you buy an Apex and it burns, do you receive the Zen back after maturity, or is it burned and gone? Yeah, so here's how it works, right? It's 2 things. In order to mint them, you have to have Big Zen liquid in your wallet that's burned. But at the same time, you're also minting you're encapsulating the C ranks into this NFT. So you're also paying for that gas, and the gas limit for the contract per VMU is 180 something plus this NFT. So you know, if you're choosing at 400 days, 475 days of maturity, after 475 days, you have to come back and also mint your tokens from this NFT. So you're releasing the Zen from this NFT, and you get to keep this NFT, but it gets a redeemable stamp on it. So that's the only metadata that's not immutable. That's a Boolean value. So So you sort of burn back then, but then you mint it later on as well. So if you choose a short term, you might burn and get less, but there's also value in the NFT. So I realized it was maybe not like the best explanation there for the first, if this is the first time, but there's videos explaining in depth how these dynamics work. So one advantage of Ethereum Zen is high grade makes it deflationary. Less minting and claims will be very bullish for ETH Zen. Does BNB Zen have a similar deflationary mechanism? Yes, it does. It's the same contract, right? It's the same contract deployed on all the different chains. So it's the same mint formula. Like Zen is super simple. It's the same mint formula, and it's just one formula compared to everything else in DeFi. It's actually super simple. We're doing a bunch of stuff and a bunch of freaky things, but to really understand Zen, you just have to start in the mint formula. And in that formula, you have the EAA, which has now gone on Binance. So you don't have to factor that in. And you have the AMP, which is decreasing as well. So these are disinflationary effects on the supply. It's going to get harder to mint with time. And we're seeing it already. Okay, now we got a bunch of stuff coming in. Then Vivek XENFT, that's a good question. We've done the heavy work, so we can sort of more or less like deploy one by one, more and more. At some point, so I don't know exactly when, but soon. At some point, there will be no more Zen left to burn. For sure. It's very exciting, guys. OpenSea does list BSC NFTs. By the way, I just looked at some. Yes, they do. They did since, I think, last like 6 months ago. I think that's when they started. Wow, can't wait. Max Nifty. So do you, Jack and team, ever take a break or know the meaning of sleep? Yeah, no, this is I'm relaxed. This is my relaxation. Oh, by the way, guys, big announcement. Zen and NFTs collaborating with Zen Turbo. So they do a collaboration. The Xenians are growing together and they're helping each other out. So that's very exciting. Check out Zen and NFT. It's the first NFT project in the Zen ecosystem, actually. So big shout out. Lakshmi, how important the timing? Let's say you mint Apex right on the first day, or if you do it in a month. So yeah, it's a good question. Now the timing is like depends what you want. You know, what you have to think about is, are these NFTs something that you value? Okay, I love NFTs, and I love the fact that I can store something in something that is verifiably very scarce. Okay, so I like the Apex for that reason, and I know, and we've said it all the time, that whatever we're doing, it's going to get utility for these NFTs as well. And I think we've shown it, like in rapid speed, that it's happening, and we're doing it. So, like with Ethereum, you could sort of like take your time. On Binance, I don't know, guys. Let's see. I mean, those unicorns, they are They better have insurance, because people are going after them hard. Can you explain a rarity? Is it a random thing when you mint? So, okay, that depends what we're talking about. If we're talking about rarity when it comes to the Apex, for instance, that is the fact that this whole category is only limited to 10,000. Okay, and within this category, it's 5 classes. So each class is limited to an amount as well. So you can see here, these unicorns, they're only limited to 100. Then you have exotic 900. So these collectively add up to 10,000. Okay, when we're talking about the limited, they are limited in time. So from today and then 365 days in the future, you can mint them. And you need 250 million Big Zen to burn in order to mint them. But after 365 days, you can't mint them no more. So maybe the use case is not so much like imminent in that case, but let's say in 2-3 years, you're going to be OGs if you have a limited NFT maybe. Now, these guys don't have so much rarity in them, okay? They're just the game theoretical aspects based on the power. And then let's talk a little bit also about the staking NFT. So this is when you stake, you can choose to issue one of these, and they have rarity based on numbers. So in this case, you don't have to so to answer your question, like really, you just have to understand this mechanics, and then when you go and mint, you choose which one of these you want. And if you choose a unicorn, then the next step is to approve this 10 billion that you need to approve. You need to have them liquid in your wallet. And that's the first step. And then the second step is to approve the transaction. So when it comes to this, it's much simpler. And this calculation is not something you need to do. This is done automatically by the protocols and the blockchains. So it checks. You're going to get an ID, and in the transaction, right, it's going to be included into a block number. So whatever those numbers are, it's going to be printed, calculated, and then printed on your NFT, and that's going to give you a rarity score. I haven't checked in the last couple of days, but I think someone had the NFT on Ethereum with ID number 8. And that's the highest rarity score. I think it was 6,500. So that lucky bastard, he got a token ID, which was a Fibonacci number. And also it was a prime number. And the block number was a prime number as well. So I don't think we've seen one that has a block number that's a Fibonacci number. It's very rare, guys. It's very rare. So that guy is, yeah. He's gonna be lucky bastard. TV Bishop, how you doing, buddy? I like the new chart on Cell Turbo. Yeah. These guys are crazy. They are doing so many things. So to cut it short, say mint a Zuni at the end of the term when I come and claim. Do I get those 10 billion back? No, you don't. You burn them. Plus the gain figures, or those 10 billion are gone forever. Yes. So you burn them, okay? They're gone forever. They are sent to a null address. And that's the trade-off you're making, okay? You have to be aware of it. Should I, like what we are doing is this is how it works. I made a video on explaining the ecosystem and how it all fits together. But we have Zen Torrent, which is the most beautiful protocol ever made. It lives up to the first principles better than anything ever have, and maybe anything that ever will. And that's the base layer. And then we're doing a bunch of Genuity stuff, and that's using Zen as its fuel. So you are, in order to participate in them, like NFTs, some of them, you burn it. So you're doing the trade-off. Like you can either keep the Zen, which is the cash, or you can exchange them for something else. So in that exchange, instead of giving it to someone else, you're burning it to get something. Okay. and because you're interacting straight with the protocol here. So you're not interacting with someone else. We're not selling these to you. We're just showing here's the protocol, and then you can mint them on your own. But then the rules are you burn your Zen to get the unicorn, but then that's gone. However, you're also initiating a claiming process, right? So you're starting your claim for an upcoming mint. So that will be released from this NFT later. So did you guys help post-chain devs the 27th January date of both chains going on DevNet seems to say so. No, but if they if they want some help, they can ask. So yeah, guys, I thought I'd make this. We're going on for 56 minutes. Give me some more questions if you have. I'm very excited, guys. We are going horizontally, and we have these 10 amazing chains, and now we are going to Binance. Oh, guys, wait. Let me. Oh, I need to show you this. I need to show you this too. How could I forget? There's some interesting data I have to see as well. How can I forget? Yeah. Too many windows. Too many windows. Oh, whoa. Only 1 minute left. 1 hour, I mean, left. I'm getting better, guys, to remember to share. Here, let's go to this. Let's go to BSC scan. Let's go to read some data. Let's go to tokens. Here we can see 7 days. We are not completely new in the Binance ecosystem. Look at this, guys. Zen Crypto. We are at number 3. Total unique senders the last 7 days. It's just like stable coins after us and before us. I mean, this is receivers. There's not so many receivers for good reason. But here we have total uniques. So we're already we have an impact, and we haven't even started yet with these protocols. So it's going to be interesting to see. Here we have, guys, Big Zen, the Big Zen. Here we have also in total, right? So, I mean, yeah, I think CC is watching now. CC, if you're in the chat, don't be a stranger. Come out wherever you are. Say hello. So it's just interesting to look. This is what's amazing with blockchain, guys. You have all of this data. You can just analyze. So anyway, it's go to BSC scan, guys, and check. You have all of these different stats, which you can just dwell into. It's quite interesting. What's the difference between XENFTs that burn Zen and the unreleased burn NFT that has the fire drawing on it? Yes. So in order for you to mint you're ahead of time. You're ahead in class. But in order for you to mint a limited or an apex, there's limits, right? So you have to have at minimum 250 million Big Zen to mint them. With the up and coming burn NFT, there's no limits. So if you want the possibility, it's very simple. It uses the same code, but we stripped away like basically everything. If you just have some Zen and you want as NFT, you want to burn for it for whatever reason, then it's a much more simple solution. You can just burn whatever amount, like 1 Zen if you want, probably, and you can issue as NFT for it. Right now, you can't. So the people who can't afford to mint a limited, for instance, because there's a 250 million limit, they can't utilize that category of these NFTs. So, you know, some people don't care about the rarity stuff and all of that. So they just want the burning mechanism. When next? 2 more months. Will all collectors NFT get the same amount airdrop? We don't know. So there's different categories. We actually don't know yet. So it's going to take some time before we work out. We got to get the Legos, guys. We got to get everything in there. And once everything is there, then we can calculate like the most optimal. What kind of charts would you like to see on Zen Turbo, or is everything covered? I think they have a lot already. There's so much data there. Like if you focus on what's there already, you're going to be experts. What's the airdrop on Big Zen when burning first unicorn in relation to burning first Uni on ETH? The burn, right? Because if you're burning 10 billion Big Zen versus burning 10 billion Zen, you paid differently. So we're for sure going to factor that in when it comes to the airdrop of X1 on X1 for XEN. Like the whole bucket that's going to be airdropped is going to be distributed differently on some formula that makes sense. ZZ, just listen. Come on, man. Come on, ZZ. What's the airdrop on Big Zen when burning first unicorn in relation to burning? Yeah. What percentage of Zen burn will happen on ETH chain? Just need a ballpark figure opinion. I'm thinking 35%. Yeah. It depends which time horizon. We burned like there's more mint coming as well, right? I think Jack has said he thinks like it's going to be 10% like constantly. That's the burn ratio, but a lot of different things, I might misquote him on that as well, but a lot of different things can influence on that. And that's what also makes it exciting, because it's this yin-yang dynamic of mint versus burn. And it's Zen is super decentralized. It's a token distribution model that has made a fair launch, and it's in the hands of so many people. So there's really not like one guy that can influence that. So it's really up to the whole network to find this yin yang based on incentives. And we are creating products, and others are creating products with the Fingerspitzengefühl to like feel that like balance, in presenting something that makes sense. So it's very interesting dynamics, and it's Zen is free. Yes, it is free because you're not paying anyone for it. You're paying gas. Okay, so it's not free in that aspect. Zen is free. Minting Zen is not free. But yeah. So, but why I'm saying that is because it's interesting, because it's very closely related to the gas, like the cost of production. There's no other token that's so intertwined with the production cost. It's very unique. What are your plans about bridging Zen tokens to the different blockchains or unite them on X1? So what's interesting with okay, I'm not going to go in that right now. What's interesting, what we're going to do when you can sort of, you're going to get the XN token on Ethereum, for instance, and then you can bridge that to XN bridgeless by locking it up in a contract, and then it would be minted on X1. So we're going to do a bunch of videos to cover that later. Barbosa Horsen. I love the name. Barbosa Horsen. Yes, Barbosa Horsen. So cool name. Where can I find the burn mother-in-law button? That's a good one. CC seems to shy me. Where is he? Why is he not here? I'm insulted, Zizi. When Binance exchange token listing? No idea. Like that's Zizi. Fingerspitzengefühl. Claudia is running together with Dominic the German chat, guys. We have many international language groups in all kinds of languages. Amazing people, beautiful people. Big shout out to Claudia. Fingerspitzengefühl. I lived in Germany for 3 years. I can only say Schmetterling because that's the only thing you need when you go to the nightclub. Kleine Schmetterling, and then you don't. So does the airdrop differ if you're burning, let's say, 10 billion? Does the airdrop differ if you're burning, let's say, 10 billion for Sunni or burn 10 billion on the burn XENFT? Probably not. It's probably like how much you burn is probably going to weigh like more. However, there might be something in addition to the rarity aspect as well. But yeah. I wouldn't think so much about it now. Yeah, Rashpal Poir, so cool names. Schmetterling. Okay, guys, I gotta get ready for deployment. Let's see, we are where are we? Where are we? 51 minutes and 51 seconds. It's exciting, guys. We're going to take over Binance now. Okay, are you ready? We're going to infiltrate Binance with first principles again and more. So get ready and get your engines going in your MetaMasks, and good luck. Beware of there might be congestion, and don't FOMO in, guys. There's so much going on. There's never any reason to FOMO. Use the condom of crypto. Use a ledger or Trezor to protect your assets. Self custody for the win, and have fun. Take care of each other. LFG, and let's see you on the other side. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and see you on Telegram. We're probably gonna open. It's probably open already. The voice chat. So let's burn, babies. Let's burn. Over and out. Sanzu 10-2.